So we're eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. But we want you to begin to get the sense of this powerful stream. And if you will begin to cooperate with your own expansion, everything will go so much better for you. When you come to realize that everything you're feeling, everything you're living, everything everybody else is feeling, and everything that everybody else is living is only about one thing. It's about your personal vibrational relationship between who you're being right here this minute by virtue of what you are giving your attention to, and who you are really being by virtue of all that you have lived and all that life has caused you to become. So you have all of these emotions that tell you how you're doing. When you feel love and joy and appreciation, passion, eagerness, that means the thoughts that you're dominantly thinking are right there in alignment with the thoughts that the source energy within you thinks, and that alignment feels like all of those wonderful things to you. It also is because you are experiencing your unequivocal awareness of your empowerment. That is the embodiment of empowerment. When you line up with who you are and you're offering one signal, you are a string to reckon with. In other words, everybody around you must cooperate with you, and the uncooperative ones have to bounce right out of your experience because your signal of alignment is so powerful. On the other end of this emotional scale, where feelings like despair or fear are, those feelings are the way you feel when you have for a while activated a vibration within you by virtue of what you give your attention to, and the source energy does not come and join you in that. Isn't that a good thing, that the source energy part of you does not come and join you in that? Well, you say, no, it'd feel better if source would join me down here, wallow with me in my pity party. And we say, think about the navigational systems in your vehicles. Jerry and Esther have several different kinds, but they're all the same, basically. The system knows where they are because of the satellites in the sky and the dishes on their vehicles. They program in their desired destination, and the system calculates a route, tells them how to get from where they are to where they want to be. How would it be if Magellan, as soon as they program in where they want to be, Magellan automatically says, no, I'll just program myself to where you are. And then announces, you're here. So the source within you is not going to join you. Source within you is always going to stay where you have most expanded yourself to be. So over here where the emotions feel so terrible, that's your perception of no power. Over here where the emotions feel so wonderful, that's your perception of complete empowerment. So we want you to begin to realize that from where you are to where you want to be is this fast moving river, always moving. And that your discomfort every time, no matter what, no exceptions, we're not kidding you. Your discomfort is because something that you're thinking has got you pointed upstream in opposition to something you want every single time. So then our friends who have been listening to us for a while say, oh, I get it. Down there's where my stuff is, up here's where I am. No problem, I'll just turn my boat around, put a motor on it, and get over there. And we say, you've missed the point if you think you have to turn your boat and put a motor on it. The stream will carry you. You don't have to do anything except let go of the oars. If you will let go of the oars, the stream will turn you and take you toward where you want to be. And here's the point we really want you to hear. In the moment that you drop the oars, in the moment that you let go of whatever thought it is that's got you pointed that way, in the moment that you say, oh, never mind, or I'll think about it later, or I don't have to figure this out now, or it isn't as bad as I'm making it out to be, or why am I making such a big deal of this? In the moment that you make those statements to yourself, what happens is you stop the activation that's got you pointed that way, and you begin to turn in the stream. And when you turn in the stream, the relief is obvious, especially if you really, really want something and you're really, really focused against it. In the moment that you stop that, you feel relief. So that's what slumber does for you. When you finally drop off to sleep, you stop that activation, and while you slumber, you turn and go with the flow. And then you wake up and you say, oh yeah, I remember my life. As you turn and go back upstream. When you meditate, when you focus upon something that causes you to stop thinking, and when you stop thinking, you stop all of the activation of that opposite vibration, you turn and you go with the flow. When you appreciate, you always turn and go with the flow. But the tricky thing is, when you're over there feeling really, really bad, and you've got some bright-eyed, bushy-tailed friend over here saying, come over here, come over here. You sort of just want to kill them because you can't relate to them at all. And the source within you is not going to come over there where you are, but it is going to continue to call you from where you are. Now, this is the thing we really want you to hear. We want you to leave here remembering one thing, only one thing. It's all you need to get from this. The call of Source always sounds and feels like relief to you. So, if you are in despair, and all of a sudden you get mad, really, really, really mad, you feel better, don't you? Have you ever been depressed and then got full of rage and revenge? Can't you feel yourself taking some of your power back? If you've been watching the news and you are following the story of the most recent gunman, maybe then you're hearing some of the powerlessness that he was feeling. And many people in the world who are watching that are uncomfortable with the fact that he got into that rage and revenge mode and then acted so violently. And we say, if he had in his life been allowed to move from his feeling of powerlessness into rage and revenge naturally, he would have moved right through into less anger and less anger and less anger, into frustration, into hope, into believing, into knowing. In other words, he, like everyone, has a source energy calling him. But when you feel powerless and you are naturally called in the direction of what feels better, and you move into that revenge mode, and then the world stands and says, wait, it's wrong for you to feel that way, it's inappropriate for you to act out in anger, then you just go back to powerlessness. So it's powerlessness, revenge, powerlessness, revenge, powerlessness, revenge. No improvement takes place. Every single person who has ever done anything terrible to any other person is someone well-meaning, wanting with everything that they have to move in the direction of connection with who they are. But they've lost track of their guidance system. They don't know about emotions. They don't know that their emotions are calling them home. And so instead, they're trying to follow the guidance of everybody else that's around them. You learn that early on. When you're little and your mother asks for a certain behavior from you and is pleased when you give it to her and displeased when you don't, she has guided you to get outside of your own guidance system. So now, instead of paying attention to the way you feel, instead of letting your life cause you to expand and feeling your emotions which call you into alignment with who you are, now you're looking to your mother, and it's easy to do. She loves you and she's right there. But then you're looking to another and to another and to another, and then before you know it, there are so many diverse people who want so many different things from you. It's hard for you to know which way to go. If we were talking to someone who was a potential serial killer, like this one at this college, we would be saying, come on into that revenge and keep on coming, keep on coming, keep on coming. And there is no one that we've ever met that could not move in a day or two through revenge right into hope if they knew that they were moving in the direction of coming into alignment with Source. It's a really rare human who understands the journey from sickness to wellness, or from confusion to clarity, or from potential serial killer to an alignment with Source, because it's a rare physical human who will give himself permission to improve his own emotional state and therefore follow his own guidance. It is astonishing that humans have lost track of the basic instinct you were born with that said, good feeling is good. So how do you think you could lose that sense. So easy. Somebody else said, it might feel good to you, but it doesn't feel good to me, and I'm bigger, so do what I say. But when you reach this stage of life where you finally acknowledge, I am the boss of me, then you can begin to listen to the guidance that is within you. And you can begin today, if you want to turn in the direction of the feeling of relief. And it is our promise to you that even if you are in despair or powerlessness with those feelings of fear, if you reach for a feeling of relief, or if you just recognize that the stream is calling you and that Source is there for you, and that Source is not just there for you, Source is there and you, and that the very negative emotion that you feel is in fact your separation from Source. Nobody else can do anything to you. Do you know you do it all to yourself? Every single thing you do to yourself. Because every single vibration you offer yourself. Now many would say, oh, but I feel this way because of something that somebody else did. And we say, that's because you've trained yourself to care more about what they're doing, what they're thinking, what they're saying about you, than you are caring about your alignment with Source. You must reach the place where you no longer care nearly as much about somebody else's response to you, and you're letting the thing that matters most to you be Source's feeling of intertwining with you. You must care about your alignment with Source, or you have no guidance. Which means you must care how you feel, or you have no guidance. Which means you must pay attention to the way you feel and reach for the best feeling thought you can find from wherever you are. And as you do that, you'll close the gap again and again and again and again, until before you know it, the dominant vibrations that you will be offering will be in perfect vibrational alignment with who you are. Jerry and Esther have visited with some people recently, a few of them, who are public figures, who have a lot of people who are aware of them. And it's an interesting thing to hear them, because they have trained themselves to be people pleasers, not realizing that as they've trained themselves to be people pleasers, what people want from them sets up a sort of stream in and of itself. And sometimes what others want from you is not a perfect vibrational match to what your life has caused you to become. And when you get cross current of who you really are, you never feel good. You can have it all. There is nothing that you have to leave behind. You see, everything that you have lived has caused you to put what you want over there. And when you are basking, when you are floating, when you are reveling in life, when you are appreciating, when you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, when the majority of what you are about is feeling good, now the universe can yield to you what feels like effortlessly to you, because you have never created through your action. You don't create through your action. You create through your alignment of thought. And the way you feel is your indication of whether you're lined up or not. And when you get in alignment with what you've put over there in vibrational escrow, and you know that you're doing that because you're feeling better and better and better and better and better, then you begin to experience what to others looks like miraculous unfolding, but to us it looks like the natural divine order of the universe. You are supposed to get what you want, and all of the resources of the universe are working in concert to facilitate that. And if things aren't working out for you, it's not because everyone in the universe isn't cooperating for you. It's not because the energy that creates worlds is not cooperating for you. It all is. It's only because you are pointed in opposition to what you're asking for. And every time you do it, no more excuses, friends. Every time you do it, you're feeling negative emotion. Every single time. That's what every particle of negative emotion is. It's you turned in opposition to something that you ask for, that you're being called toward. Now, there are two really interesting factors in this. First, if you hadn't asked for it, the stream wouldn't be flowing. And if the stream weren't flowing, your opposition to it wouldn't feel so bad. Did you get that? In other words, you're the reason the stream is flowing in the speed that it is, and you're also the reason that you're pointed with or against the current. So the more life has caused you to ask, the faster the stream is flowing. Whatever you're thinking right now has you either moving with it or against it. Isn't it simple to understand this?